Happy Thursday. Nerfy suck, but let's talk some more baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we've made it to Thursday. That's right, but our 2-day winning streak is over. We had a rough night yesterday, our day yesterday, 1-3. We'll talk about it. We lost all three just right there. I mean, we were right there. We just did not get any breaks, including that Nerfy that we'll talk about. But baseball is tough. If you don't know that already, there is handicappers everywhere that have been doing this for a long time that are just over baseball already. That's how hard it's been for everybody. So we just got to keep grinding. We're not even close to the All-Star break, guys. We got a long ways to go. So just hang in there. I appreciate all the support. I know we haven't won as many bets as we wanted to, obviously, at the start, but I have full confidence we'll turn this ship around. So anyways, we'll go over the recap in just a little bit, but we have an 11-game slate. That's right, not the full 15 game. We got 11 games, and I like the slate today. I didn't love it yesterday, but I do kind of like this one a little bit better, so hopefully that means some winners. But before we get into anything, it's time for the baseball fun fact. And this one, I had no idea. This is interesting. Tim Raines. Hopefully, you guys know him. For those of you that are not like 19 years old, but Tim Raines was a baseball player. He reached base more times than the great one, Tony Gwynn. That's right. Tim Raines reached base more times than Tony Gwynn. 3,977 times to Tony Gwynn's 3,955. If you think it's because of all the plate appearances and all that, he didn't have that much more plate appearances. It's about the similar career. He had like 120 more plate appearances over like 20 years or however long the career was. So practically identical. Yes, Tony Gwynn was a better hitter in regards to batting average and all that, but Tim Raines still reached base more times. That's kind of crazy. So I don't believe he's in the Hall of Fame, and Tony Gwynn was an easy Hall of Famer. So that's the baseball fun fact for you. But anyways, in this video, we got another segment today. We got, first of all, yesterday's recap, then the good hitter matchups, and then because we didn't have it yesterday, we got who's on fire. That's right, hitters on fire in the last 7 days. And then we'll talk those pitcher strikeout matchups, go over that entire pitcher report, and then finish it all up with the best bets and the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below like you guys do every single day. Seriously, I see some of you guys commenting, and it's just the same people every day with some new people as well. But those that take time to do that, I just appreciate it, and especially the ones that take time to just hit that like button to help this channel grow. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button as we are chasing our first 26,000 subscribers. Let's get into it, and it starts with the recap. All right, there it is, a 1-3 day like we talked about. We got hooked on one hit away from the hitter parlay, and a Nerfy. Let's just start with the Nerfy, guys. That one hurt. I was watching every single pitch of that first inning. 5 up, 5 down, easy peasy. First pitch to Jaime or Jamer, I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's Jaime Candelario, and he hits a freaking bomb to center field. And the next guy gets out. That's right. That's just you can't make it up, but that's what Nerfies are. That's where you can get messed up and lose. And as you can see, we're now 12-12 for 0.00 units, so dead even. But Javier Assad, 4.5 Ks, finally got his 4th K in the 5th inning, and he had one more out to go. I thought to finish the 5th inning, one more chance at least. And then they take him out after striking out a guy for the 4th. He was hooked, but overall, I thought he'd be better, and he just didn't miss. He had a lot of 2-strike counts, but he just did not finish it off, of course. So we were 1 strike away, probably like 4 or 5 times from cashing that. But the team total did hit. I was getting upset that I thought the Orioles were not going to. Luckily, they got it done in the bottom of the 8th. But Mets hit easy. I mean, that was over in like the 2nd inning. They just crushed Braxton Garrett again. And then the hitter parlay, for the first time all year, I put 3 legs on it, and then it made me realize why I don't do that, because I hit 2 of 3. Fernando Tatis went over and just absolutely killed me. Otherwise, that would have been an awesome plus 172 winner, but he just struggled. So that's what we got, 1-3 day. But like I said, the reads are there. I know they are, but losing sucks. I'm mad. You don't have to tell me twice about what just happened. So we'll turn it around, though. Let's get back on the winning track. There's the overall record with all the breakdown of different types of bets. And now let's get to the good hitter matchups. All right, we got 12 good hitter matchups for you today. We got some Orioles on here, a couple Tigers, leading off with Mark Canha up there, 10 for 23 with 2 extra base hits and a bomb versus Patrick Corbin. Everybody, I think, is 10 for 23 off Corbin. And then he has Carson Kelly over there, 4 for 6 versus Corbin. And then some Orioles. How about Ryan O'Hearn and James McCann? Not exactly the well-known Oriole players, but they have hit Reynaldo Lopez well. But I will say, obviously, Lopez, he's having a career year. He hasn't been the same pitcher as he was before. Then the next Mariner, Jared Kelenic, 4 for 9. Salvi, how about 2 home runs versus nasty Nestor Cortez with a 4 for 9 line, so on and so on. So those are all the guys. Take a screenshot. Hopefully this helps you get some winners. And now let's talk. Who's on fire? All right, if you are new to the channel, we do this once a week, and you have to have at least 20 at bats and hit 340 or higher to make this list. And we got 2 pages for you. If it's in the green, that is the highest on the list. Carlos Correa, how about that? Hitting 517 without any trash cans and 6 RBIs. So, yeah, I know. I'm always talking about that. But, anyways, other than that, Paul DeYoung's been hitting the ball well. He has 7 ribbies with 3 home runs down there. I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about David Hamilton, so that was a shock to see him down there, but maybe I need to go catch up. But he's hitting 364. Bobby Witt seems like he's just always on here. And Charlie Blackmon, the old veteran, hitting 357, hitting the ball really well. And then the White Sox fans have been waiting to see Andrew Vaughn show up because he's been a highly touted prospect, and last 7 days he has at least. So that's page 1, though. Take a screenshot. Hopefully this helps you one way or the other. I like to use these for some hitter parlays sometimes to see who's on fire. But let's check out page 2 now. And the leader on home runs and RBIs is all the same guy. Teoscar Hernandez, the ex-Mariner, absolutely crushing the ball. 5 home runs in the last 7 days, including 12 ribbies. Just absolutely unbelievable. You got Shohei, you got Freddie Freeman, you got Mookie Betts, but it's Teoscar Hernandez. That's surprising people, having a great season. So other than that, the lefty Alec Burleson has been hitting the ball pretty well for the Cardinals lately in the last few weeks as well. Yandy Diaz, 429, along with Christian Yelich. And then Marcell Ozuna, my goodness. No one's really talking about him because the Braves offense is struggling, but he has just been so solid for the Braves this year. We've talked about him over and over again. And then we end it with Brian Reynolds and Dansby Swanson. So those are the hitters on fire for the last 7 days. And now let's talk some arms. All right, we got 3 good pitcher strikeout matchups for you today, and it starts with Taj Bradley, the Taj Mahal versus the Chicago Cubs. Cubs 8th highest K percentage versus righties last 3 weeks, almost 25%. Bradley 39 Ks, 31.1 innings. In his 4 home starts, he got a little late start to the season, but in his 4 home starts so far this year, he has had 6 or more Ks in every one, 7+ in 3 of the 4 home starts. And those weren't easy matchups either. The Yankees, very tough to strike out. Baltimore, Royals, and Red Sox. Red Sox are the easiest one out of those, but that's pretty impressive in those. So that's Taj Bradley at home against the Cubs. And then the man with 2 first names, Joe Ryan versus the A's. A's have the highest strikeout percentage they have for a while now, at almost 27% versus righties. And then we got some notes on him. Joe Ryan, we know, striking out more than 1 per inning right now. But he's been a little bit inconsistent with his Ks lately. 8, 4, 9, 6, and 5 are his last 5 starts. But in his last 6 home starts, which is where he is here, he does have 6 or more Ks in 4 of those 6 home starts. So just some numbers to kind of help you out. It's a great matchup. Obviously, the A's can kind of help anyone bounce back, really. So that's the first 2. Let's check out the final one. And my goodness, this could be a bloodbath. Garrett Crochet against my Seattle Mariners. Mariners 3rd highest K percentage versus lefties last 3 weeks at 27.5%. It doesn't matter if it's a righty, a lefty, or a guy throwing with 2 hands, the Mariners will strike out. Crochet, 103 Ks in 75.2 innings. This guy has been absolutely elite. He took a little while to get used to starting again at the beginning of the season, but he has been lights out lately. So let's just talk about all these notes I just had. He has 6+ Ks in 8 of his last 9 starts. 6 is obviously not a ton. That line is higher than that, but he also has 8+ Ks in 4 of his last 6 starts. But, and yes, it is a big but, he is only averaging 5.33 Ks per start in his 6 road starts. This is in Seattle. Some of that was because it was earlier on in the season. In his most recent start, it was on the road in Milwaukee, and he did strike out 8. So again, I'm just here to give you a ton of info. I'm not here to try to convince you one way or the other. You guys just decide, but that is the 3rd pitcher strikeout matchup for you with Mr. Crochet. And now let's talk the pitcher report. All right, these are the first 6 matchups for you today. If you're new, check out all the averages on the bottom so you have something to compare it to. But we have an interesting matchup to start. Reynaldo Lopez, who has just been excellent, due for some negative regression, but of course he has under a 2 ERA. But the lefty Cole Irvin, 2.87 ERA. He hasn't been that most of his career, but he has a 4.57 expected ERA. He's due for some negative regression. He's given up some hard contact, does not strike out a lot of guys. He has been good with the walks, though. But again, the Braves offense has just been struggling. So we'll see what happens there. Nasty Nestor, we've talked about before. He has been worse on the road, that's for sure. Facing the Royals as the Yankees, I believe, try to get the sweep in that series. And then Justin Steele against Taj Bradley. Taj has been better at home as well, so that should be an interesting one. And then Patrick Corbin, we all love that. I mean, against Casey Mize, my goodness, hitters get ready in that game. And then Tanner Houck has just gone under the radar. He's been so good this year. 1.91 ERA, 2.74 expected, 25% K rate, low walk rate, low hits per nine. Everything about Tanner Houck right now says he has been solid. So, anyways, he's going up against Aaron Nola, who, he's been Aaron Nola. He hasn't struck out as many guys as he used to, but he's still been solid this year. So those are the first 6 matchups. Take a screenshot. Hopefully it helps you get some winners. And let's check out page 2 now. And we got the funky Cole Medina for the Oakland A's going up against the man with 2 first names. But I won't talk about that game because we're about to talk about it soon. And then we got Griffin Canning, who's just been, blah. He's average, probably below average pitcher this year, going up against Brandon Pfaadt, who has been steadily improving and due for some positive regression. We talked about Crochet going up against Castillo. The White Sox got the better pitcher in that one. I'm not going to lie. They have the better pitcher on the mound that game. So we'll see how that turns out. But and then we end it with Yamamoto down there for the Dodgers. He got paid a lot of money. He's not pitching like he got paid a lot of money. Again, he's only been in the majors for like a month and a half, 2 months, but still, I just want to point that out. 4.5 expected ERA, very average K rate, so on and so on. So, anyways, that is the pitcher report for June 13th. And now it's time for the best bets. All right, this segment of the show is brought to you by our sponsor, Better Bet. That's BTR Bet, the best place to find, track, analyze, and share your bets. Click that link below in the description and go check it out and use that promo code JABO for 30 days free. All right, bet number 1 takes us out to Minnesota, the land of the tiny beverages, as the Twinkies host the Oakland A's. Twins minus 240 on the money line, A's money line plus 198 with a total of 8 runs. I'm not going with player prop this one. I'm going straight game. Give me the Twins minus 1.5 on the run line at minus 106 on FanDuel. The A's are struggling. I mean, that's an understatement. They're just struggling mightily, playing like the A's we all thought they would. Losers of 5 straight. They have lost 11 of their last 14 games. And a big reason has been their offense. When you look back at the last month, the A's have scored the fewest runs in the MLB over that last month. Tied with one other team. Can you guess it? The Texas Rangers, the defending World Series champions. That's not righties or lefty. That's just overall. And I believe this is the only game 1 of a series today, as the other ones are just wrapping it up. But A's have to travel after getting walked off in San Diego. Mason Miller, their stud out of the bullpen, gave up a walk-off bomb in San Diego. So travel spot for them. But funky Cole Medina. And by the way, if you don't know what that is, Tone Loc, great old school rapper back in the day. But anyways, Luis Medina, he's only made 2 starts. Last season, he had an ERA over 5. This year, he's only made 2 starts so far. Well, I just said that. That's repetitive. But he's had 1 bad start and 1 good start. Blue Jays scored 6 earned runs off of him in his last start. And, that's like a week's worth of runs for the Jays. And he got that in only 5 innings. He had an 11.5% walk rate last season. And he just walked 5 guys last start. The guy has command issues. I mean, we all know that. And that helps because the Twins have the 6th highest walk rate versus righties in the last month. And then the Twins also have Joe Ryan. We already talked about it. He takes the mound. He is their ace. He has been solid. He's given up 3 earned runs or less in 7 of his last 9 starts. And 2 of those were at Houston and against the number 1 offense in the Yankees. So the A's are flat out bad. We already talked about scoring runs, but they have the 3rd lowest on-base percentage, 4th lowest slugging and OPS, highest K rate. It's just so incredibly bad for them right now. If they hit a home run, it probably won't be a 3-run home run. It'll probably be a solo home run. But the Twins offense, if you want to take them against Luis Medina, Twins are about average. I mean, there's nothing exciting about the Twins offense. They're hit and miss a little bit, but they are better than the A's lineup. Obviously, they're facing a much weaker pitcher as well. In the A's last 13 losses, 8 of them have been by 2 or more runs. Starting pitcher advantage is pretty big here. And I'm going a full unit on this. I don't even know if I mentioned that, but I'm going to go full unit. I'm going to take some more chances here. I don't usually do the home team minus 1.5, but I just think the way the A's are playing in this starting pitcher advantage, I'm going to give it. So give me the Twinkies minus 1.5 runs as my first best bet. All right, we take a pause in the bets just to let you know about the BetMGM promo out right now. First bet offer up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win that first bet. Guys, you can go take a chance. You can go make a huge bet. If you lose, it's okay because you're going to get it back in bonus bets. Now, in order to get this promo, you got to click that link below for BetMGM. It's in the description. Go check it out. It's a limited time offer, but it is a great deal. And you got nothing to lose. Go sign up. And I always recommend using different sports books because it's going to give you different odds. Long term, it's going to really help you out. So if you're in a legal state, go check out BetMGM. Of course, you must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, back to the bets. Bet number 2 takes us out to Seattle, where the Mariners are hosting the Chicago White Sox. Mariners on the money line minus 162, White Sox plus 136 with a total of 6.5 runs. That is incredibly low. Give me Garrett Crochet over 7.5 Ks at minus 130 on DraftKings. Can it be anything else? I'm putting a unit on this bet as well. We talked about this earlier on the pitcher K matchups. Crochet is a strikeout machine. That's right. He has 103 Ks and 75.2 innings. He does have a lower K rate on the road. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't really care that much in this case because he's facing the Mariners. His last road start, like we talked about, was 8 strikeouts versus Milwaukee. My Mariners are so bad that they literally just struck out 7 times to Jonathan freaking Cannon. Yep, that's true. That happened. He has hit this line in 4 of his last 6 starts, like I mentioned. Let's talk about his recent starts now. So he faced Boston last start, 10 strikeouts. Boston has the highest strikeouts percentage versus lefties. I can see something close to around 10 in this one because it's about a similar K team. 8 strikeouts at Milwaukee. Milwaukee has the 12th highest strikeout percentage versus lefties. This is all within the last month. 11 Ks versus Baltimore. Baltimore actually has the 7th highest K percentage versus lefties in the last month. They do well against righties, but lefties they strike out. 4 against Toronto. Makes sense. They have the 4th lowest K percentage versus lefties. 6 versus Washington. They have the 6th lowest. And then he faced the Cleveland Guardians, who are about average, 16th highest, and he struck out 11. In summary, what I'm trying to say after all that rambling is that when he faces top 16 K teams, he has had 10, 8, 11, and 11. And this is not just a top 16 K team. This is a top 5. I mean, this is a great matchup. All we need is 8. To even think about a ladder when it's already a 7.5 line is insane. But it crossed my mind because I would not be shocked at all if he could get 10 Ks here in this game. So, anyways, versus lefties. Let's talk about some of my Seattle Mariner players. How about Cal Raleigh, the catcher, the big dumper, they call him. 30.5% K rate versus lefties. Josh Rojas, 36.4%. Mitch Garver, 36.4%. Julio Rodriguez, 28.6% K rate versus lefties. Needless to say, they have a lot of guys that strike out. We all know that. I just wanted to give you guys some individuals, but give me one of the best strikeout pitchers in the league versus one of the highest strikeout teams in the league, over 7.5 Ks as my second best bet. And that's all I got for bets, but I got some hitter parlay ideas like you guys like. I'm going to add some plays tomorrow, maybe 1, possibly 2. 11-game slate, though. These lines are getting tough, that's for sure. The books are putting out some sharp lines. So, but any added plays will be in the pinned comments on X and on Discord. So here's the hitter parlay ideas, which again went 3-1 yesterday. They did well. This first one, Salvi Perez of the Kansas City Royals to get a hit. You saw it earlier. He's 4 for 9 off Nasty Nestor, hitting .309 this year versus lefties. And Cortez on the road, like I mentioned, he has struggled. He has given up 43 hits in 35 innings on the road this season. So that's one. Second one, Matt Vierling. So I'm going to start you out with a couple kind of under the radar and then 2 not as under the radar. But the second one, Matt Vierling, 1+ hit, 8 for 15 off Corbin, the best hitter matchup of the entire day. Overall, 300 average versus lefties this season. He's also hitting .287 at home, which he's at home, compared to .253 on the road. He has 1+ hit in 10 of his last 14. Corbin has given up 1,256 hits per 9 innings. No, but it's not too far off from that. I'm not going to lie. Marcell Ozuna, he's our boy. He's the Jabo Hall of Famer. He's hitting 400 the last 7 days. He continues to rake. You saw that on the Hitters on Fire. A lot of these, you've seen a lot of this info already. I use my research to kind of come up with these, obviously, but he's hitting .354 versus lefties this season. He is 1+ hit in 13 of his last 15 games. By the way, he's facing lefty Cole Irvin. And he has 2+ hits in 5 of his last 6. So some of the reasons I bring these up is because you might get a bet on one of these hitter parlay ideas to go 2+ hits, or maybe to go over 1.5 bases. This is not just for a hitter parlay. It's just to help you out with anything else you need. The only negative to Marcell Ozuna, it's not a huge sample size, but he's only hitting .247 in day games compared to .358 in night games. This is a day game. The fourth one, the big man. I mean, it's Aaron Judge. But here's the reason I'm mentioning Judge, not just to include in a hitter parlay, for many other reasons. He has an insane 2+ hits now in 8 of his last 11. 8 of his last 11, he has 2+ hits. Depending on what those odds are, that's not a bad option. He has 1+ hit in 17 of his last 20. He's an absolute total bases and RBI monster. So again, I'm just trying to give you as many ideas as I can. In the last 12 games, Aaron Judge has 23 ribbies. And then also 2+ total bases in 10 of his last 12. That's insane, guys. This guy is just silly. He's facing Alec Marsh of the Royals. He's given up about 8 hits per 9 innings, about average, but he's been struggling a little bit lately. We talked about it, but he's given up 14 hits in his last 10 innings, which is 2 starts to the Padres and the Seattle Mariners. So he is starting to give up some hits. Aaron Judge can hit anybody anyways. Go 2+ hits. Go over 1.5 bases. Go ribbies 1 or 2+, whatever you want to do, or just include him in a hitter parlay, whatever you want. So those are my 4-hitter parlay ideas, my 2 best bets, all the research help we got for the 11-game slate on the 13th. And now let's check out the recap. All right, just the 2 bets right now. We got the Twins -1.5 at home at -106 on FanDuel. And then Garrett Crochet, the lefty, over 7.5 Ks against my Mariners at -130 on DraftKings. And then, of course, any added plays, which I'll have at least one, probably a hitter parlay and maybe one other one. But those are both 1-unit plays today. We haven't done 1-unit plays in a while. I'm just feeling good about it. So hopefully that it pays off and we start working our way out of this hole. And if I have any added plays, it may be a half unit. We'll see. I'll make sure to put that on there. But thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it every single freaking day because talking sports is awesome. So hit that like button if you haven't already. But hope you have a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you soon.